Well, that's pretty damn ominous. Hello? The skeptic? Is that you?
In the field of psychiatry.
Oh, okay, that's a no, and okay, we're talking about psychiatry today. Awesome. I love me some getting into people's heads shit. Nothing better than really messing about in someone's noggin, even if it does get a bit sticky in there. It's not like cerebral fluid is something to be ashamed of, is it?
There's strong evidence of a definite relationship between the sex glands and the brain.
Okay, sure. I mean, there's strong evidence of a relationship between everything in the human body and the brain, because, you know, it's the brain. It's kind of a big deal. And it's in there, so it's connected to everything in some way or another, usually pretty directly. Otherwise, you wouldn't, be able to feel things and understand the implications of that. Not exactly insightful, my dude. And, of course, as all psychology boys seem to do, you went straight for the fun stick. Typical.
And that degeneration of the latter organ is usually accompanied by degeneration of the former.
Well, yeah, if brain no work too good, body no work too good too. What is this, biology 0? Yes, if your brain degenerates, whatever you mean by that, I'm pretty sure your pork sword, among other things, won't work quite as well. Whether that be because of actual damage to your thinky box or psychological problems. If brain not work too good, body not work too good 90% of the time. We have already established this.
You eject the substance of the synovial fluid.
Who ejects the what now? Synovial fluid, as you rightly point out, is the stuff in your joints. It makes moving and bending and whatnot possible. But eject it? What are you, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? You know, the one where the web fluid came out of his body for some godforsaken reason. But instead of using it to shoot long strands of spider silk to fight crime over New York City, you instead just shoot out hocks of joint snot from who knows where. I'm not sure that's how bodies work, my dude.
You send forth to gratify a moment's passion, the very material of which the brain is made.
Wait. You're talking about jizz, aren't you? Moment's gratification, sex organs. It sounds like this motherfucker thinks that brains are specifically made from cum. That can't be right. That cannot possibly be what he means.
This is a fact which you will acknowledge when you consider that all this semen is the material of which all these substances are made and supplied.
Never mind, he definitely thinks that brains are built from spuff. That's the most insane thing I have heard in a while. And no, I'm not making the, well, today at least, or this week at least, type of joke. I mean, in actually ages. The brain is made from spunk. That is fucking wild. And I will acknowledge this fact. I'll bet you I fucking won't. In fact, I'll bet you that I'll be some kind of asshole and look into what these things are actually made from and then say nope. Because would you look at that seminal fluid, spinal fluid, and even synovial fluid, while containing some of the same things, because duh, they're made in your body, they are all distinctly different things, you mad bastard.
And when the semen is ejected, you have selected the best part of the body to go out and become to you a useless inert mass.
What are you talking about? Seriously, that is the most asinine shit I've heard in my life. Cock snot is a thing that biologicals tend to be able to generate effectively infinite amounts of, on demand no less, but it's actually the most important substance on Earth. Well, holy shit. Teenage boys to withered old men everywhere are really going out of their way to crash that particular market so hard into the ground, it comes out of the other side of the fucking planet.
Which can never be restored to you under any circumstances.
Stop saying hilariously dumb things. That's my job. Are you actually stupid, or is it just something you do on days ending in Y? Your man jam is absolutely something that gets restored to you, because there really isn't much to it. It's approximately a teaspoon's worth of matter. It's frankly a negligible quantity of your entire mass. and you simply will not miss it. You could literally eat a sandwich and restore more energy and proteins and whatever else to your body than you could expel in a week before wearing your dick down to a nub.
It is lost and gone. Dr. R.W. Bernard.
Wait, that was a quote. And from Dr. R.W. Bernard. All right. A guy who was literally born at the start of the last century, probably. Whose psychological knowledge was almost certainly based on a complete lack of understanding of how brains and or bodies work. What is it with woo peddlers and their total adherence to anything so long as it's completely out of f***ing date with the rest of the science?
Out of all the organs in the body, the brain and testes have over 13,000 proteins in common with each other.
Well, I could have told you that. I mean, where do you think bollocks for brains comes from? And guys thinking with their junk has been known for about basically forever. Although seriously, so what? Assuming that that's completely true, what does it actually mean? That human bodies have some parts more related to each other and other parts that are less so. Okay, cool. That doesn't suddenly mean that brains are made out of baby batter or that the expulsion of said cock droplets has any significant impact on one's intellect.
The highest number of common proteins of any two organs in the human body.
Okay, again, so what? All that says to me is that the sex organs and the thinky organs probably originated from a similar place or time or evolved together because braining and the ability to mate successfully are likely excellent survival traits. Or something like that. But they have plenty of proteins that are unrelated, so obviously they have diverged somewhat. And I don't know how dissimilar other things are. I mean, if the second most common things were feet and nostrils, I don't think we'd be sitting here having a conversation about how toenails are made from nose hairs, would we? Although technically...
Many of the processes of the brain and testes are noted as being very similar.
I'm pretty sure they aren't that similar, and I did look into it, and while the 13,000 crossover thing appears to be true, but this they did the same stuff thing didn't really come up, and the closest that it did was that they both have high energy processes. The brain, of course, doing the brain thing, and the balls producing nut batter. Anything else seems to be unknown for now, but I can't see any reason why they would need to be that similar, since the tasks are, well, not exactly the same. At least I hope not, because if I start leaking bonk juice from my eye sockets, I am going to be less than impressed.
The neurons in the brain are supported by glial cells. Much alike the testes, which contain support cells known as the Sertoli cells.
They are in fact so similar that they have different things in them. A convincing argument, my friend. Next, you are going to tell me they are exactly the same because you have a penis just above each of them. But no, the one on your forehead, that's just a you thing, buddy.
Both glial cells and Sertoli cells produce lactate.
Lactate is the electrically charged form of lactic acid and is a thing that is also produced by muscle cells and red blood cells and all sorts of other parts of the body during anaerobic exercise. You know, it's almost as if lots of things that your body does all over your body, it does them. Because that's what it does. And not because Brian am clam sauce.
This is utilized as an energy source by neurons and germ cells.
I mean, as far as I can tell, it gives energy to a lot of things. It's almost like it's an important chemical in the body for general energy production. And so one might completely expect that you would find it in various parts of the body, and that not finding it in certain parts would be more strange and interesting than finding it in two different places.
They are both two energy-hungry organs that rely on much nutritional support for carrying out processes such as thought and sperm production.
So apparently your entire they do the big similar bit is they are both high energy requiring functions. That's not actually being the same thing, you know that, right? I mean, a choo-choo train and a furnace are both high energy applications that take in energy in very similar ways, but they do completely different things. And I wouldn't travel in a furnace, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get very far. And if I tried to cook something on a train, Well, that might technically work, but it would also end up really far away from where I was working.
We have previously discussed studies that indicated higher sperm quality equates to higher intelligence.
Okay, so I've looked that up, and A, that is not considered to be an established fact, and B, considering the whole point of this video is for semen retention, you unfortunately have the concept more than likely flipped. Because while yes, if you hold off on jacking the kraken for a couple of days, you are likely to have a greater sperm count, and it is in fact recommended if you're having trouble trying to conceive. It's not some sort of infinite increase in count. You don't do it for 2 days, you don't do it for 12, it's not going to change much, as any unused boys are just going to get reabsorbed into the body. And more importantly, the idea is that more intelligent people would have better sperm, not making your sperm better would suddenly increase your IQ by multiple degrees, because that's not how fucking anything works.
Could we not assert that the health and nutritional state of one of these organs will likely dictate the state of the other?
Right, okay, so I don't know if you know this, because it's obviously not been brought up umpteen bajillion times, but fucking yes, of course that can happen. It's all the same body, you dumb fuck. But that does not mean that it's somehow special and magic, and that Penis Colada is the ultimate source of all brain power. I mean, for fuck's sake, you know that there are these female things, right? And they are, as far as I'm aware, well, they don't usually have as much in the way of population paste inside them, and yet seem perfectly capable of being just as smart and ostensibly as fucking stupid as any rude glue producer. So yeah.
There was a published study conducted in 2011 that linked sexual dysfunction with brain disorders.
Look, this is the last time I'm going into this specifically. Yes, no shit. I'm pretty sure there are studies that show neurological conditions can cause other issues. I believe that people with autism are more likely to have gastrointestinal distress. People with anxiety disorders are more likely to have tachycardia and cardiac arrest. And I am certain that there are more. The point again being that brain and the body are related. That doesn't mean not shitting will reduce autism symptoms, or that stopping your heart will reduce anxiety. In fact, in my experience, the last one tends to make it kind of worse. Until it doesn't.
Dr. B. Tellme, an eminent American gynecologist and authority on sex.
Now, I'm not 100% sure I found the same guy, but the person I found wrote a book called Love, a Treatise on the Science of Sex Attraction. So there's a really good chance that this is in fact the same guy. And if so, why do you keep quoting people from over 100 years ago? The book was written in 1915, so to call this person a prominent psychologist without mentioning that fact first, if they even were, that it was literally forever ago, strikes me as more than a little bit completely fucking dishonest.
Expresses a similar opinion and states that in the absence of sexually exciting stimuli, the semen and spermatozoa are produced in smaller amounts and are completely resorbed through the seminal vessels.
Well, at least they were right about something. Also, just because when you don't do a sex or a coom that your body reabsorbs the stuff, it doesn't mean that it goes straight into the brain. In all likelihood, it's broken down, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was then simply excreted as a waste product. And even if it wasn't, well, it would probably just get turned into protein shake again, in the hope that you actually do have one off the wrist. Or maybe even get laid, I know. And on that note, do you know what's generally considered way more beneficial to your average humans than stopping your snake spray? Regular masturbation, 2 or 3 times a week, is perfectly healthy and has many benefits. Way more so than whatever shit this person is likely recommending. The benefits are numerous and well documented. I should know, because I'm a massive wanker.
So that consonance becomes easy and natural.
Wait, what? When did we start playing Countdown?
Consonant.
Ah, that takes me back. No, not watching old quiz shows that I used to scare humans from behind walls.
The conservation of this vital fluid, he claims, is necessary for the attainment of the greatest vigour of body and brain, while its loss is harmful.
well, then he was what we call in the industry fucking wrong. It's such a tiny amount of prick liquid, you wouldn't be able to measure its loss with a bathroom scale. I'm sure that the nonsense he's spouting is based solely on religious claptrap, rather than an earnest understanding of how the body works.
And a man may live through a lifetime in a state of complete continence, without injury, but only with benefit.
Debatable on the without injury, but the benefit part? Not really. If we're talking averages here, there's absolutely more benefit to letting loose a wave of dong yogurt than to not. Holding back the tears, so to speak, has extremely limited application and is again not fucking magic.
Dr. Dubois, the neuropathologist, says that sexual indulgence, not continence, is the cause of neurasthenia, contrary to the erroneous conclusions of the Freudian school.
I'm not even going to check who the fuck that guy is because he's bringing up fucking Sigmund Freud. So we know this is definitely going to be more out-of-date garbage. Freud hasn't exactly been at the forefront of psychology for a really long-ass time and is only really clung to in popular media these days because of some of the more wacky concepts he popularized.
Professor Alfred Fournier, a physiologist of note, ridicules the idea of the dangers of continence for the young man, and that during his years of medical practice, he has never come across one such case.
Come across. I'm not going to even bother checking on anyone else at this point, because what is the point? There is no fucking way this person is a modern researcher or doctor of psychology or anything like that. Because that's all you ever seem to bring up. And even if they were, so what? It's the anecdotal experience of a single person, not, strangely enough, a scientific study. In fact, it seems you are rather averse to real scientific work, and far more interested in people's baseless opinions. I wonder why.
Professor Monte Garza, on the other hand, praises the benefits of chastity, both upon the body and upon the brain. From the writings of Bernard, 1950s.
And there it is. All that shit is just old men from forever ago who had opinions from a time when sexuality was taboo. Funnily enough, all agreeing with themselves that in fact, sexuality is taboo. What a shocking shock.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the